Willpower feels infinite until it suddenly vanishes. This depletion isn't just a feeling, it's a measurable cognitive process. Understanding this process begins with recognizing willpower not as a character trait, but as a finite resource, much like physical energy. When you exert self-control in one area, you draw down a central reserve, leaving you with less for the next challenge. This concept is often called ego depletion. It suggests that acts of self-control, like resisting a tempting snack, focusing on a difficult task, or even making a series of decisions, all tap into the same limited supply of mental energy. Early research illustrated this vividly. Participants asked to resist freshly baked cookies later gave up more quickly on frustrating puzzles compared to those who were untempted. The act of resistance itself seemed to drain their persistence. The brain's prefrontal cortex is the command center for this executive function. It's responsible for planning, decision-making, and regulating impulses. When we exercise willpower, this region is highly active. Neuroimaging studies show increased activity here when people engage in tasks requiring self-control. However, like a muscle, it can become fatigued from overuse. The fuel for this mental work appears to be glucose. The brain is a high-energy organ, consuming a disproportionate amount of the body's glucose. Strenuous mental activities, including exercising willpower, can lower blood glucose levels. When glucose is low, self-control falters. This explains why we often crave sugary snacks when we're mentally exhausted, and why it's harder to stick to a diet when we're tired or stressed. Restoring glucose levels, even with a simple sugary drink, has been shown in some studies to temporarily replenish. However, the glucose model is not the whole story. The link is more complex than simple fuel depletion. Our beliefs about willpower also play a crucial role. Research has found that individuals who believe willpower is a limited resource are more likely to experience ego depletion. They act as if their willpower has run out after a demanding task. Conversely, those who view willpower as an abundant, self-generating resource show little to no depletion effects. They can perform one demanding task after another without a significant drop in performance. This suggests that our mindset can directly influence our stamina for self-motivation is another powerful factor. When we are highly motivated to achieve a goal, we can push through the feeling of depletion. The promise of a reward or a strong personal commitment can unlock reserves of energy we didn't think we had. This indicates that ego depletion isn't an absolute cutoff, but a shift in priorities. When mental resources are low, the brain begins to conserve energy. It biases our attention away from tasks requiring effortful control and towards activities offering more immediate gratification. High motivation can override this bias, signaling to the brain that the long-term goal is worth the extra energy expenditure. Decision fatigue is a specific form of ego depletion. Every choice we make, from what to wear to complex strategic decisions at work, consumes mental energy. After a long day of decision-making, our ability to make sound judgments diminishes. We become more likely to opt for the easiest choice, procrastinate, or act impulsively. This is why successful individuals often simplify their daily choices by wearing the same type of outfit or eating the same meals. They are conserving their finite willpower for more important decisions. Stress is a major drain on our willpower reserves. The physiological response to stress floods the body with cortisol and adrenaline, preparing us for immediate action. This fight-or-flight state directs resources away from the prefrontal cortex, impairing our ability to think long-term and control impulses. Chronic stress keeps the body in this state of high alert, constantly depleting the energy needed for This is why it's so difficult to stick to healthy habits when we're under pressure. The brain prioritizes immediate survival over long-term goals. Just as a muscle can be strengthened through training, our capacity for self-control can also be developed. Consistently practicing small acts of self-discipline can gradually increase our willpower stamina. This could be as simple as committing to making your bed every morning, correcting your posture throughout the day, or cutting back on one small indulgence. These minor exercises build the muscle of the prefrontal cortex, making it more efficient and resilient. Over time, what once required significant effort becomes more automatic, freeing up mental resources for other challenges. Sleep is fundamental for restoring willpower. During sleep, the brain clears out metabolic byproducts that accumulate during waking hours and consolidates memories. A lack of quality sleep impairs the function of the prefrontal cortex, directly impacting our ability to manage impulses, focus attention, and make thoughtful decisions. Even one night of poor sleep can significantly reduce our self-control the next day, making us more susceptible to temptations and emotional outbursts. Prioritizing consistent, restorative sleep is one of the most effective strategies for maintaining a healthy reserve of willpower. Mindfulness and meditation are also powerful tools. These practices train the brain to be more aware of the present moment without judgment. This heightened awareness helps us recognize impulses as they arise, creating a space between the urge and the action. Instead of reacting automatically, we can make a conscious choice. Regular mindfulness practice strengthens the neural networks associated with self-regulation, improving our ability to stay calm and focused under pressure. It doesn't stop temptations from appearing, but it gives us greater control over how we respond to them. Nutrition also plays a vital role beyond just glucose. A diet rich in complex carbohydrates, lean proteins, and healthy fats provides a steady supply of energy to the brain, preventing the sharp spikes and crashes associated with simple sugars. This stable energy supply supports consistent cognitive function and self-control throughout the day. Dehydration, on the other hand, can lead to fatigue and reduced cognitive performance, making it harder to exercise willpower. Staying properly hydrated is a simple yet effective way to support brain function. Our environment significantly influences our need to exert willpower. A space filled with temptations requires constant self-control to navigate. By designing our environment to support our goals, we can conserve our mental energy. This might mean keeping unhealthy snacks out of the house, turning off notifications on our phone while working, or setting up a dedicated, distraction-free workspace. By making the desired behavior the easiest option, we reduce the amount of willpower needed to stay on track. This is not a sign of weakness, but a smart strategy for managing a finite resource. In essence, willpower is a complex and dynamic interplay of biology, psychology, and behavior. It is a real limited resource, influenced by factors like glucose levels, stress, and sleep, yet it is also profoundly shaped by our beliefs and motivations. By understanding these mechanisms, we can move beyond simply trying harder. We can adopt smarter strategies, strengthening our capacity through practice, conserving it by designing our environment, and replenishing it through proper rest and nutrition. Managing willpower effectively is not about having superhuman self-discipline, but about understanding our own human limitations and working with them wisely.